Prepare yourself, guys. Prepare yourself at all times. This is Chris with T3 Medias, and I'm going to give a quick binge review explanation of the weird ending of Marcella season 2 that came out on Netflix. Now, I don't know if this was already talked about and done over there in London, but you know, Marcella, I've been waiting for season 2 to come out, and I was not disappointed. I don't know what it is about this show. In my opinion, this is the best detective TV show coming from the BBC, and as you know, I know everything there is to know about the BBC. Yeah, one way or another. I'll let you, determine where that joke is gonna go. But I don't know what it is about this show. I love it, man. I love this show. It's weird, and it's probably because I love the star in it. I like her in Pushing Daisies. I was mad that show got canceled, so I'm glad to see her out and about, still kicking ass. But this show it's this character. Marcella is such a flawed character, where I couldn't see myself enjoying it too long, because she's one of these people that constantly with that damn privilege, just getting away with everything, even murder. It turns out, on the scale that people always feel that cops always get away with everything anyway, that the boys in blue always protect their own and whatnot. So, but this just show proves it, man, that Marcella has this issue where she'll black out and do the most heinous things to get the job done, no less. Or if she feels like she's in that fight or flight mode, she'll do whatever it takes, and then she has no memory or recollection of what she's done. And there's people that feel like they have to go just as dark and deep to take her down. And at first you feel bad for her. You're thinking, oh, okay, all right, they've taken it too far. She has a condition. Then you're like, no, she's the one that's taking it too far. And it turns out, and if you're not ready for this, I should have said this in the beginning. Spoiler alert, guys. Spoilers. I will be spoiling the crap out of this, because we're going to be explaining the ending. But it turns out that Marcella finally dives deep into what's causing her blackouts, and it turns out it all happened after the death of her third child, a baby. Now, the fight that's going on between her and her ex-husband, that's one thing. Now, that's, whose side are you going to be on? The guy who's cheating, the guy who's marrying a woman he's only known for a couple of months and trying to take the kids away. And then you're thinking, well, maybe he's got a couple of points, because maybe he's been dealing with her shit ever since, ever since the death of their baby. And when this new crime that's come up with the serial killers, all these kids, is just stirring up all these emotions, because these kids are all being killed and murdered, and killed and murdered, and there's no explanation of who this guy is that's doing all these crimes. And it turns out that it's a woman committing these crimes. And as you can see in some of these pictures, that when they discovered that it's not only just a woman, but it's a woman who's a neighbor or a friend of Marcella, whose daughter is herself dating Marcella's son, who it turns out her son also has the same mental condition where he blacks out. And so this is obviously a chemical thing. It's going on in the brain that's obviously being activated by great amounts of stress. And Marcella, when she finds out that her neighbor is the one that's killing all these people, by trying to lobotomize them to prevent them from becoming murderers or rapists themselves. I've always believed that the greatest villains in the world are the ones who feel like they're doing the right thing. So what she's doing is, when she discovers that you're crazy or a potential threat in the future, she tries to cure you. If you can't suppress the memory, she'll try to scramble it out of your brain. And that's what she tries to do when she finds out that Marcella's son has that same condition. Even in the interrogation room, she's like, what did you do to your son? I mean, you're on trial for murder. You're being arrested for murder, and you're judging the cop. That's what I loved about this, because even though she was doing something totally messed up, she had every rhyme and reason to judge Marcella herself. And I was like, they were both right and wrong in the same time in the situation. So she's on trial for murder, and she's asking the cop, what did you do? Why did you cause me to have to do this to your son like this? It was a crazy moment in the show, and I loved every bit of it. And I was thinking, like, there's no way in the world she can get away with this, because after it all was said and done, she finally went into therapy to find out why she has her blackouts. It turns out that, and I guess postpartum depression, she killed her own baby trying to get it to stop crying, and the stress got to her. She snuffed her baby out and smothered it. and couldn't revive it. And the boy died. It was very sad. And I'm thinking, there's no way in the world you're going to get away with this crap, Marcella, because that therapist has to report you. You're a threat. You're a cop. This is no. And all of a sudden now you got an accusation from your ex-husband coming on. You had to turn over custody to your kids. The new girlfriend's going to report you. The serial killer is going to report you. That's it. This is it. This is the last season. And then at the very end, we see Marcella goes on the run. She cuts herself. She cuts her hair. She handcuffs her colleague. It's so crazy. She's like, oh my God. So now you're going to be, I'm thinking you're going to be on the run now. You're going to be like a homeless vigilante. I'm thinking that that's the way this is going to go. And she's out in the streets, been like 9 days later. And here's the explanation of the ending. So it turns out that this guy at the end that comes up to sit down next to homeless now Marcella says, later it is learned that the woman whose DNA, her DNA was left behind when she cut herself open. The woman whose DNA was left. Let's see. I'm sorry. Let me get my bearings here. Later, it is learned that the woman whose DNA Marcella used to hide her possible involvement in Grace Gibson's murder perished in a fire. So, the lady who helped her out in season 1, that was played by Nina Sosana. No, 3, 2, 1. So it turns out that the forensics expert who helped her out in season 1 to cover up a possible murder, who was played by Nina Sosanya, died in a fire, and all her evidence and her cases, I guess, got caught up in some kind of a fire as well. And there was a shelter somewhere else where 3 unidentified people were also killed, and they decided to identify one of the homeless people as being Marcella herself. So now the world believes that Marcella is dead. And this agent named Frank sits down next to her and says, we can use a dead cop on our agency to go undercover. And are you interested? So obviously this is going to lead up to a season 3. So if you didn't know who this guy was, she's a friend of Lena, who is also dead, who can't prove that Marcella is dead or alive now. And he decides to use the DNA that was left behind to cover up the death of Marcella, or the disappearance of Marcella, to have her join some kind of a new secret agency. Which, oh my God, just goes, once again, she's going to get away with this crap. So it's very conflicting to me. Because, yeah, Marcella does the things that she does to get the results that she wants. I mean, a serial killer kidnaps your son, is about to lobotomize him and possibly kill him, and you snap and decide to take the serial killer's daughter as leverage. Hey, I'm thinking I would probably do the same thing if it was the only way, if I didn't have a weapon, right? But the ends always justify the means. So let's look into that, man. I mean, even through season 1, trying to find out who these serial killers were, and this season you're dealing with pedophiles and causing the threats, like the actions of one person takes can cause a chain reaction down the line. I mean, you have a pedophile who was arrested and served their debt to society, but now is under investigation of a new murder, and because of the constant pushing by Marcella, he then turns back and regresses because he lost his own son after trying to do the right thing, and it almost caused the violation of Marcella's son. I mean, like 2 or 3 times in this season, Marcella's son was caught up in some shit that Marcella was involved in, and that she inadvertently or directly caused. It's just a bunch of cause and effect. And that's what the main villain was thinking. She was thinking that she has seen it for herself. Her father did some heinous things to her brother. She feared her brother would become the same thing, so she wanted to stop it right there on the spot. And that was her mission, to save the humanity one person at a time. Very weird, very, very awkward, but the messaging was very much well received in this season. It was woven in between all these different stories of who done it and the possible suspects. All of them are guilty of something, even the police officers that are investigating. I mean, there's a scandal between the chief of police and the wife of a suspect right there. I mean, no one was innocent in this at all. And there's everybody. You're either guilty as hell, or you're a pawn in someone else's game in this season. And that's what I liked about it. It was crazy. But I'm thinking there's no way a season 3 could come from this. But looks like the hit's just gonna keep on coming, because Marcella, once again, her privilege gets her off again. So now I guess the season 3 is on the way. I gotta look it up if it's being recorded or it's done, if it's already being aired out there in London. But I'm excited about seeing. I'm conflicted. I hate when I'm in a situation where I hate a character so much, but I gotta see what's gonna happen. I can't look away. This is a total train wreck that I'm in love with. I can't wait to see it again. So that explains what happened in season 2, kinda, best as I could. But let's talk about what you think is going to happen in season 3. And if season 3 has already come out and it's already being aired out there in London, no spoilers, guys. I don't want to know. But she can't get away with this stuff for too long, or can she? Now that she's joining the secret agency, now she's going to be a Joker-like villain. I'm sure they got to fix that scar. You know, that's the money maker. She's too cute for that. Can't have her have that all. No. But let me know what you guys think about this season after you finish watching it, and if you're excited about the upcoming events for Marcella. Or you think, is this the best show in London right now, coming from the BBC? And is there something else better? Don't tell me about Winsworth and stuff. I've been watching. I kind of stopped watching all these other shows and whatnot. No, this is the best show coming out of the BBC, besides Sherlock Holmes and what's another show that's out there? There's a bunch of good ones, but this is out there in the top 5 for me. And Dr. Foster. Oh, those two need to stay away from each other. Dr. Foster and Marcella, no, y'all need to stay away from each other. Y'all get away with stuff too much. Let me know what you guys think, and hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't become a subscriber already, guys. Until next time.